Docking request accepted.
Old.
Yeah, that one.
Good morning, New Eden. Today is May 18th, 2025, and this is the Federation Frontline Report. I'm your host, Frozen Fallout. We had a chaotic, nice little start to the... Look, I actually opened up comms the moment that you said, I think, the old man.
I think it was when he was old, yeah. But there was also the one where you're an astrophysicist. I want that
You
one
are
too.
an astrophysicist,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So today we have the player in his 50s, astrophysicist, friend of an astrophysicist in Hilmar, according to a news article
CCP
that I
Hilmar.
saw.
It's fact at this point.
Mhm.
That's not even fake news, dude.
That's
Yeah, you
Master
can't even argue with
Nightflyer
this point.
here. Master Nightflyer, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, even in my old age as a gamer. But
Knocking
I'm
on
still
death's door,
managing.
man.
I've had a lot of fun since eFest, during eFest, since Madison. Been doing some good stuff, and now I've got in a ship trying to. Nope, screen jumped.
Yeah,
Are you
so
fucking gay camping?
No, I was trying to move my guy out of system. I was in Devon, and I need a ship, so I'm jumping. But I'm doing great. How about you, Samson?
And so yeah, we also have our awesome, co-host Samson. How you been doing since FanFest?
I'm alive. I was probably closer to death's door than fucking a player in his 50s over here. Because I got the fucking FanFest plague right after the
plague is
pub
real.
crawl. Yes, the plague is definitely real. Like, it was bad, but overall, FanFest was amazing, and I'm doing great now. As you can tell, my voice is back to normal, and I'm alive. And good morning, New Eden.
All good things.
Good morning, New Eden. So, Mr. the Plague and Mr. Nightflyer, can you fill us in on how, mainly Mr. A player in your 50s? How did that? What is that all about? What are we talking about?
All right. So one of the things we did in FanFest was we did the pub crawl. And during the pub crawl, we had the opportunity to hang out with Swift, and we talked with him as we went from pub to pub and place to place. But they also had a lot of news media outlet people there, and one of them was her name
Dana
Eileen, and she is from PC Magazine Online, which is a Canadian-based technology magazine, and she was specifically doing articles about FanFest there. So amongst the crawls, I was chatting with her and had a good talk, and I kind of was telling her story about, hey, I was, it was COVID, and I was looking for something to do, and I just stumbled upon EVE Online, and that's I'm like a COVID baby. And if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would still be, that I would be a video game player and flying to Iceland for the second time to hang around with a bunch of video game nerds, I would have thought you were crazy. But here I am, and here it was. And so, of course, that's the line that she picks up on is, Nightflyer, a player in his 50s.
Yeah, I have the article right here for you, if you don't mind. I'll just read this excerpt.
Oh, read the little excerpt. And Eve by Night has clipped a copy of the article in chat too, if you'd like to read it there. So
yeah, you can read the entire article there, but I just have this little excerpt here from Dana's article. As I mentioned last year, CCP puts on a pub crawl where devs and players trek through the streets of Reykjavik together, sharing stories, battles, and excitement for the game they all love. I even met a player in his 50s, Nightflyer, who was genuinely surprised when he started his EVE journey 5 years ago and has since found himself attending 2 FanFests in Iceland as well as events in Las Vegas, traveling the world with friends he met in-game. EVE hosts events across the globe, bringing players and developers together, and that camaraderie alone could keep EVE going forever, even if it's just through the friendships it builds. And that's a callback to EVE Forever, which is part of the title of the article. Helmar was pushing very hard at FanFest.
Yeah, they want that big time. So that's the whole article. The whole article is about how, it's more than just a video game. That there's a community built around all of this that we play, and and that's true for us. I mean, we're all friends. The 3 of us are friends because of this game. I mean, we met up, because of this game. We flew to Iceland and Vegas because we played this game together. And so her whole article is about, the whole social aspect of what this game, is for people. So, again, I'm trying not to take offense to it. She was very nice. I enjoyed talking to her. I enjoyed dancing with her, as not just her, but the whole group of people dancing together at the party on top of the world or the end of the world, depending on how much you'd had to drink.
Yeah, there's so many people.
Or how sick I was.
There you go.
Right.
And then there was that. Poor Samson.
I wasn't even there. I was there for like an hour, and then I was like, I gotta go, guys.
At least I had the fortitude or free thought to get sick the week before.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I don't know where I got the plague from. I don't know if I got it from sleeping in the same room with Nightflyer right when he arrived.
I don't think it was necessarily the plague. I think that it was just like the
mine was just
around that you had to do, like all the stress of everything going on.
Probably all
what I got was absolutely viral because I had a fever after the pub crawl. Yeah, I just didn't I woke up with chills. And it gave me bronchitis and congestion in my sinuses as well. But I can't say whether it was what Nightflyer had or if
I'm
it
gonna
was.
say it wasn't because
I'm gonna say it was.
I never got a fever. Or anything.
I was gonna say it's probably from that local chick that gave me that cider.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Asked me how much I loved Iceland when we were walking back, kind of drunk.
Yeah, so the hot drunk chick with her hot drunk mom.
Yeah, well, I don't know if her mom was hot, but there it is.
Hot. As an older gentleman, I can tell you her mom was hot. So.
Okay, yeah, I was distracted because she was the one handing me the cider, and her mom did ask. I think it was her mom that asked how we loved Iceland, and I said it was amazing, and they were like, "Woo!" She was like, "You should try this," and I was like, "Sure." And then she's like, "Keep it," and I was like, "Uh-oh."
We got roofied. Yeah, we thought.
I've already drank half of it, so I finished it back at the hotel.
So I linked that article. It's in Iceland.
Yeah.
But if you got a translator, you can translate it to English.
I think it's already translated. Let me see if I can share this for y'all.
I don't know how technology works. You know how old people are.
Yeah, I know. I'm old.
But yeah, so that was the running gag for like the rest of FanFest and the Madison Meetup is that I was the player in his 50s playing video games. So. And I am. I mean, I guess I can't really shy away from it. I mean, it's factual.
Yeah, but then also too, though,
it's not like I'm playing Roblox or something.
Award-winning astrophysicist attends EVE FanFest. I don't know, man.
I found my thing here. Let's see.
I'm streaming that too.
Yeah, I did have to go on Facebook and clarify that for my mom that I am.
You're not an award-winning astrophysicist.
No, it's the guy in the blue shirt between Halmar and I cannot remember that guy's name. He was really nice. He was fun to talk to.
That makes sense.
But I can't remember. So that's and that's in that photo was taken in the CCP headquarters.
I can almost read his tag, but I can't.
So that was fun. That was at the charity dinner I went to. Great time to sit at the table and, have Helmar like walk up to me and do the whole small talk you do with these things of like, so how long you been playing EVE? Or who do you fly with? And that kind of stuff. I should have totally acted like I didn't know who he was. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
But I was
See how
so
he reacted.
yeah, because I did the complete opposite. I totally fanboyed out on him. Just guys, love your game, man. It's so awesome.
It's so cool.
Will you be my friend? You know, so but great conversation. We had a really nice talk. Just kind of going through all the stuff, and he was. I think kind of got talking to the fact, because the video game cycles. You put out a video game, and you expect it to last, 3 to 5 years, and that's it. If you get a game with legs on it, it might last for 5 years, but after that, you as a person who makes games, you're closing it down. You're moving on to the next thing. And so that's all he was expecting out of this game. It's all he wanted from EVE Online. He came in, it was already kind of rolling, and he took over and did his thing. And he's like, I was on a 5-year plan. I was going to do this for 5 years. I was going to build this up, and then I was going to move on. Either the game would fade away or I'd sell it off or whatever. And now here we are 21 years later, coming on 22. Are we at, no, did we just complete 21 or are we at 22? I lost count.
22.
We're at 22 on May 6th. Yeah. So that's, so he's, just really humbled by the whole thing too. That's what I found fascinating. You could be like, oh yeah, I'm this great programmer. I did all this stuff and look at this game I made, but he wasn't. He was very humble about the whole thing. And I appreciated that. He is intimidating to talk to, not only because he stands a foot taller than you, like when you're talking to him, but you can just tell he's smart. He's one of those people, that there's just stuff going on in there. Like he's calculating things in his head while he's explaining things to you. You just oh man, I have imposter syndrome anyway. So I just I don't belong even amongst the nerds at the table that I'm at. I've been playing for 5 years. These guys have all been playing since beta or 20 years. I
will say that amongst the EVE fans, the crowd that we hang out with, the autism is pretty thick. And there's no way he couldn't have made a game without being somewhere, a game this popular amongst us, without some of it. Without being on the spectrum just a little bit. But yeah, he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, he was really cool. And I also talked with CCP Javelin, who is the COO, whose office is out of London. Really nice guy, great talk. I actually asked him the question very specifically, why does CCP hate the Galente? Why are they against Galmil so bad? And he didn't disagree, and he called over CCP Overload, who again didn't disagree that CCP is kind of not supportive of Galmil. He didn't come out and say it. He said, "Oh no, we support all the factions the same," and several. They kind of pointed out how many of the CCP
fake news
people are actually, including Burger, are actually in Galente. They have Galente characters.
Yeah, Burger said he's been in our fleets.
Spy. Yeah.
You're muted for Froze.
I know he's
CCP is spying.
He's a spy. Burger's a spy. Everybody calling it, but they didn't deny it. And I obviously, since I had their ear, I tried to push my own thing. Well, what examples do you have? I'm like, all right, let's go to the LP store and take a look at that. What can I buy in my LP stores, Galmil, that the other factions can't buy? And it's just crickets. Now, ships aside, of course, but there's nothing. Plates, shields, whatever. It's all exactly the same. They all do exactly the same. But what can't we get? Well, we don't have missiles. Keldari has missiles. We can't get lasers. Amar has lasers. We can't get the other one, projectile ammo. So, I just kind of pointed that out. I said, something's got to be kind of reworked with that. There's got to be a reason. The gift you give us for being in faction warfare is LP. I mean, that's the thing. And
the big one is that our morals is shit. Comparatively to the Phoenix Navy issue. Put the drones
back in it. Why did you take the drones out of the Moros? Put the drones fucking back in it.
Yeah, make it badass.
That would make it badass. Put the drones back in the Moros. That's my... That's my banner. I'm gonna.
I didn't know
fly that.
Dreads had drones.
Oh, so I did find
Amoros originally did.
that
Before my
Gamer
time.
Rant thing got published. My
Ooh.
interview for Gamer Rant. So I'm along.
Oh, is that the article?
Yeah. So
I'm waiting for that. Amy.
Yeah. And then Aderon, Kashal, and me are all quoted in the book or the interview, the book.
I
The
just
You're
want to
listed
say
as Golden.
Yep.
Goldan. So, because we met Amy last FanFest very briefly. She was like new to Eve, new to streaming Eve. I don't know. So we didn't talk to her a whole lot. It was just kind of like, oh hey, cool, But she was very active when she was there last FanFest back in that one, the 20th anniversary one. So this was actually the first time I actually had a chance to kind of sit down and talk with her. And she's a very nice person. So I just want to throw that out there. But I'd have to say that about all the streamers I met. Crash Naps, Chaos,
Crash Naps was a lot of fun.
Boom Gen, Magic Geek, of course.
Magic Geek was super
fucking
cool.
love him. We had such a good time with that guy. He's amazingly fun.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't following Magic Geek, follow Magic Geek. He's fun. But all those guys, even Loru, who I thought Loru would have like a big ego, I'm the streamer. I've been playing for 12 years. He's a professional streamer. It's what he does for an income and a living. And, Eve, CCP, flew him out there and stuff just to cover this. And he's out there with his drone. But I swear to God, one of the nicest guys you're going to run across. So, all those guys, really cool, really cool. The only streamer I think was kind of on my list that I wanted to meet was Pando, and it just our paths never crossed. So, just didn't get a chance to talk with Pando at all.
He wasn't on our fleet, was he, Frozen?
I don't think so. No, I definitely didn't talk to Pando.
No, I didn't say we did, but I thought maybe he was at the LAN party, but maybe not.
So do we want to do a breakdown of?
Yeah, so let's kind of
the
go
day by day that we
into how this all kind of went. So I arrived first.
Let's take a quick step back. Let's go with the fact that you guys bought tickets last year.
Yes.
Yo,
so
I was on the hook. I had to wait.
FanFest 2018.
We bought the earliest of the early birds.
2023. So this is the 20th anniversary. We bought our tickets like super early bird. We were we got basically the cheapest price that you could possibly get, I believe. I think there was some minor ones. Yeah, it's got, what does it say? Exclusive Pioneer, yeah.
And then you had an orange.
Yeah, people were asking about that. They were like, "How'd you get that?" It's like, "Oh, that's from when you bought your ticket."
Oh yeah, so you have a blue. Cheaper. You have a blue lanyard because you're a pleb.
You're a pleb. Obviously. You're just a pleb. You don't. No.
Yeah, the commoners have blue.
It just means that you got a cheaper,
had bright pink. And then other guys had the oranges.
And the funny part is that I just used my lanyard from last year, so even if I wasn't exclusive, I still would have had the Ord lanyard.
Don't give away all our secrets.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, yeah. But
yours said 2023 then.
But I've been waiting 18 months was it for this? This has been a build back up to going back to FanFest, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it a lot. Me and my wife go to a lot of different conventions, and she's not huge into Eve, but she's like, this is the best convention. Because you could just go up, you talk to everybody, everybody's friendly, everybody's hanging out, we're all having a good time, we're all there to have a good time about Eve. We even ran into some Eve Frontiers. I think I ran into a couple people that were there for the Vanguard, and all of them were really cool. And I'm like, all right, cool. I was concerned about Eve Frontiers until I went to FanFest, because it does seem to be like a very different game. It's not looking, it's looking to do Eve in a different way, and so it's not looking like, it's not looking to usurp Eve. It's looking to just be a different version of Eve, and reach out to players that are in a different way. And
Yeah, I thought it was fun. So we ran into Venus, and she's she's a Frontier player, so she doesn't even play Eve. She just plays Frontier, which we thought was kind of amazing. But yeah, I've played Frontier, and it was hard, obviously, because there's like, you don't know what to do. But I can see the aesthetic. It's very dark. It's like, it's very grim dark, I guess would be the best way to describe it. It's that very John Blanche kind of colored, just dystopian future where things had fallen apart, and you've got to kind of figure out, how do I get society back? And that's really kind of where this game is different from Eve. Is that, you're hunting for, why did things fall apart, and how do I get it back?
Right, so it's not like civilization isn't doing well and you're just, even more powerful because civilization is doing well in general.
No, you're not the all-powerful Capsuleer. You're just a drone in a ship, and you are trying to figure shit out. And it's kind of cool from that aspect of it. So, yeah, I'll give the game another look eventually here when I've got some time in my schedule. But like I said, between Eve, other games I play, other hobbies and stuff, so I'm trying to get that worked back in. And then of course real life is still, fucking
What's that?
Yeah. Kids and schools and universities and cars and stuff. So
No, thank you.
yeah. So you bought your tickets last year, and then, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I thought that was kind of important, is that, and those tickets are available for the next one, like now.
Yeah, so if you're gonna get tickets, get them now, because they're way cheaper now than they are in a month or two, and then it'll be even more cheaper.
Yeah, they'll be $50 more a ticket.
And pay close attention to when the extras show up, because you want to buy them immediately. They sell out really fast.
Yes, that's
there are some things. There are some things that, like the pub crawl, that you can kind of tag along to and maybe get in. Like, they were a little bit looser at the end this time, unlike last time where I was stuck outside the entire time.
Yeah, they definitely were checking badges last time, but not this time. They were like.
But like, if they do the LAN party, that was probably the best money well spent.
That was huge.
Of anything. Like, the pub crawl was amazing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I did kind of like die afterwards, but that had nothing to do with the crawl itself. It was awesome. But that was a skill issue, honestly, on my part. But the LAN party was so worth it. Like, it was super cool. It was a really cool arena where they had everything set up, and they had you got lunch came with it, which was like a buffet kind of deal with pizza and vegan options, which is important for me because of my lactose intolerance. And they have a lot of decent vegan options in Iceland, but you have to be careful, like very specify whether something's vegan or not, because they don't know what the word lactose means, as I found out later. But we got to go out with CCP. We got to go out with they handed me a Skybreaker. Like, you should never hand Gwen a Skybreaker. That's a bad idea. For you, it's a great idea for Gwen. She got on all the kills. And Lashak, that was a lot of fun too. But also just the fact that they teleport us to Polaris first. So we were in Polaris, which is like a dev system from what I understand. Like, you don't really go there. And then they used a special filament to jump us all out into Null. I think I interrupted. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, my bad. What you were saying?
We got tickets. We killed stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Well, okay, so we got tickets a long time ago, and so we set this all up to come early, though. So this year, one thing that I found really interesting, though, is just to speak about. So I landed on Sunday morning, basically. So we left on Saturday, arrived on Sunday, like early in the morning, and there was already partying going on, like immediately. Like
Lebowski's
there's
every
just, like,
fucking night.
Every night there was a party at Lebowski's that everybody was doing. Everybody was having a really good time. Basically, everybody for Eve Online was like going way early. Like people had been there already for days. Like they were like, yeah, I arrived last week. So they come really early, and I found that to be really interesting because if you go to like Gen Con or any other convention, like maybe a day early, you might have friend groups that come a little bit early. Free Day Wednesday is also not even a day that a lot of people show up for because it really doesn't kick off until Thursday, and FanFest doesn't technically kick off until Friday. But there are meetups on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So coming on Sunday, I was technically a day early, and people had already been there for days. People were partying already. There was a bunch of EVE Online players and stuff, and that was super cool. It was a lot of fun. Just every day was Monday they had mixers and stuff like that. So Sunday what did we do Sunday? I think we just chilled. Got set up in the hotel. I think we went out to Tigger's Tank was there, so I think we went out to the Lebowski's and had like a White Russian with the cocoa pebble.
Neither of us were there yet, so it was all you.
But yeah, so that was pretty chill of a day, and then you guys so it was Night Flyer. You arrived on Monday, was it?
Tuesday. I left here
Tuesday.
Monday.
So
I arrived on Monday.
You arrived. So Samson arrived on Monday. So, what were your memorable things from Monday?
Oh God.
Oh God.
It was terrible, dude. Nothing to do with FanFest itself. I just sneezed really bad twice, reminding me of
I have to go AFK for just 1 second.
Place.
I'll be right back. But go ahead with your story.
Give me 1 second here. I didn't want to make that snort with my mic on. So I fucked up. I had a really good setup. I was gonna land at 9:30 a.m. in Iceland. I had a flight out of LAX to connection in JFK, and that would have been like a total of like 11 hours or less, because it was like 5.5 hours per flight, maybe a little less, and everything would have been fine and dandy. I already kind of hate flying, and I already have issues like typically when landing. If I don't have the proper setup, I get pressure in my head and I go deaf and shit. But I arrived at JFK with, I think, like 20 minutes between flights, and I fucked up royally. They said it's just the next gate over, but my app, I had to go to the bathroom, so I immediately got off because every time I get off an airplane, I have to go to the bathroom. Because it's hard to take a shit when you're flying. Just saying. And then I don't feel well after landing, and I really don't feel well when there's turbulence upon landing. So I get off the plane at JFK and I immediately run to the bathroom. Now keep in mind, the flight attendant said it's just the gate over, and there was one other person making the same connecting flight as me. I mistakenly thought he was also a nerd. He was not. He was just there going to Iceland on business. I was like, fine, whatever. So I run to the bathroom. When I get out of the bathroom, I double check my app, and the stupid app defaults back to the first flight. So I say B whatever for my gate. So I start booking it to B because I'm in A. And by the time I get about halfway to A, I'm like, this is really fucking far. I thought I said the next gate over, but in my head, A, B, right? The next gate over is B. That's the next gate over. Okay.
You think, yeah.
I get all the way to A. It's about like a fucking 15-minute walk or a 10-minute walk already, like fast walk, because I knew I didn't have that much time. I was almost running half the time. And then I get there, and there's no A26. I'm like, where the fuck is it? It goes up to like A21. I was like, where's A20? I see a worker, and I say, hey, where's A26? And he's like, there is no A26. And I was like, what? And then I looked at my app again, and I was like, fuck! It went back to the previous, like it defaulted back to the previous flight, because that's a good user experience. The flight that's already fucking done, show me the one I don't need to fucking see. Thanks, Delta Airlines. And then I ran back. I get back there. I still go to the wrong gate because they changed it, and it didn't update in the fucking app. And I get to that gate, and it's completely empty. No, there's not even anything listed. And then I run, and somebody else is like, "Oh, well, it's at this gate." And I was okay. It was just a little bit further, and I went that way, but I had missed it by 3 minutes. They closed the doors, and after, if anybody that's flying is terrible, by the way, it is one of, probably, I would say, the safest forms of transportation, and maybe some of the most efficient transportation in getting someplace, but it is a terrible, god awful fucking experience unless you're rich. Just so you know. And so, anyways, I missed it by 3 minutes, so I was like, fuck, and I just run like 2 miles with a 40-pound backpack. I was already slightly dehydrated, so now I'm like dead. And then I go to the Delta people. I find their information thing after someone directed me there, after several people asking if I was okay, because I was out of breath. And I go, and they say, hey, I was like, I missed my flight. You know, I'm trying. And the lady there was awesome. She set me up with a flight to get there the same day that I would have gotten there. But they sent me to Amsterdam first, which is 2 hours ahead past fucking Iceland. And it's a 7.5 hour flight. So now I've already added 2 hours to my flight time. So when I finally get on that plane, I'm dehydrated and I feel like shit. And it's Royal Dutch Airlines, KLM. I'm severely lactose intolerant. I am now on a flight where I do not have any special selected meals, and every goddamn thing that they serve is cheese in it.
Cheese.
So I
It's
can't
all
eat anything.
cheese.
I can't eat anything. Even the vegetarian option is just fucking mac and cheese with some veggies. So I don't eat anything on the flight except like some pretzels, and I try to hydrate myself and feel better. And then I finally get to Amsterdam, and I manage to feel a little bit better, get hydrated, eat something, and then I'm like, oh, thank God, it's only a 1 hour flight back to Iceland. And then as I'm boarding, I look at it again and again, and I'm like, oh no, it's a 3 hour flight. I'm going back 2 hours. And I was like, no. So I ended up doing 10, 15, 16 hours of flying instead of the 11 I would have done originally. And when I get to Iceland, I am just fucking dead that day. I don't even remember what I did. Oh, that's right. I remember now. Frozen demanded my presence at like, what was it? Was it fuck. What's it called? My brain just farted. We were just talking
It was
about
the
it.
arcade bar.
Lebowski.
It's not Lebowski's. It was
Lemmy. It was at Lemmy. Yeah, which is way further by comparison.
Yeah, Lebowski's is like right next door.
Lebowski's was right next to where we were staying, and so I walked there. But I made an appearance, and then I came back, and I
You made an appearance like every day, but you were like dead.
I did make an appearance every day, and then I finally got when I finally got better. That's when, you know, it killed me again. But yeah, so Monday, and then Tuesday, Night Flyer arrived, and he was also pretty much dead because he was sick.
Yeah, that was long. So, when you do a direct flight from O'Hare, there's only one. You don't have a choice. So you take off at 7:30 Chicago time, and then you land at 6:30 in the morning Iceland time. We actually got there pretty quick because we were there at 6. And it was nice. This time was bad. Like last time, I had a whole bunch of trouble with my rental car and trying to get to the rental place, take care of that. This time, I just took the bus into town, and that was like super smooth. But
I took a cab because my wife felt bad for me, and she was like, "Use your emergency credit card to take a cab."
Yeah, so that was just so once I got into Reykjavik, I just had to make the decision: was I going to take the half-hour walk in the cold from the train station up to the hotel, or was I going to get a taxi? And so I just walked it. I'm like, whatever. And of course, it's all uphill, and yeah, so that was kind of wrecked. And I was just kind of getting over a cold. I don't know what happened. I thought it was just allergies, but Saturday I got really kind of sick and congested. Started popping all sorts of whatever I could get my hands on, kind of stuff, NyQuil and that kind of stuff. But most of it was just kind of cleared up by the time I got there. But still kind of had the remnants, and was still a little bit medicine head by the time I got there on Tuesday.
And Tuesday, what we went out? Did we just do? I think we just did Lebowski's on that day.
Maybe.
No, there was another Eve meetup type thing. I think we.
I don't remember.
I don't.
Let me look. I'm gonna look at my photo
history.
No,
we went out to not the Cock. What's the place next to it?
The Cock.
We met Tank out at DEIC, and we got toast and a coffee.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's when we met, and we met Amy for the first time, and she was like, "Oh, are you guys staying at the hotel here?" And we're like, "No, we're just here for the coffee." And she's like,
yep.
That was, so just kind of sort of everyone doesn't think like, Iceland is like just fantastic. Like there are bad stuff, like coffee. You're gonna get an 8-ounce coffee, which usually is probably about a 7-ounce. And I don't know, I don't know what form of measurement they're using, but it's $5. It's $5 for a cup of coffee, and it's just
on Tuesday.
You're like, what the shit?
Yeah, we went to the monument after that. I remember we were at the monument. I have pictures of us at the monument.
Oh, yep, that's true. Yeah, we did Tuesday. That. So we met up with Tank. We went there. Ran into a bunch of other nerds. Rain was out there. We talked with her.
Rain and Delano were at the monument.
Delano was out there, yeah. So, we met her in Vegas, and she hosts the Eve New Orleans. So it was kind of nice to kind of compare notes with her as far as what she does for her fests and stuff. Like, because we had the Madison one coming the next weekend.
Yeah,
and then
go ahead.
Yeah, I think at that point I bailed. I don't know what you guys did, because I'm like, I need a nap. I'm like dying.
Yes, we went to Bullseye.
Bullseye, was that the where you threw the darts?
No, you were there at Bullseye.
Yeah. So we went home. I think I crashed for a nap. I took like a 2-hour, like not even a 2-hour.
You
like
probably went to Lebowski's then. I don't know.
And we swung into Lebowski's for a minute, and then we made our way over to the Bullseye, and we played some darts for a while, which was cool because they have the steel tip darts boards with auto scoring, which just makes it a lot easier. That hasn't caught on here in the United States yet, and I kind of asked my mom, because she owns a bar and they play darts. And I'm like, what's the deal with that? And she's just like, yeah, they're just, when they originally came out a few years ago, they weren't very accurate. And so a lot of the bars and stuff just didn't pick up on it. And now they're just kind of expensive. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think, and then Wednesday? When did we go to the Sky Lagoon? Was that Wednesday?
No, you did that.
You guys went to the Sky Lagoon before
Sunday,
either of us got
Sundays, there. Yeah.
Oh, really? So that would have
been
been Monday then that we must have gone to the Sky Lagoon the first time, because that would have been me, Tank.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh yeah, Brian.
Because I arrived very late. I arrived very late on Monday.
Yeah, and so Brian, Coder Fast Steel, he joined us. He was on the flight with us there, but stayed an extra day at the end. But he had his own hotel room. So yeah, that's right though. So me and him and Tank all hung out. So okay. So yeah, that was so early on Monday. So we didn't come in and immediately do the Sky Lagoon, but we did it the second day, and that was really awesome. And we got to go to the second time on Sunday, which was really great. And then Wednesday. What did we do Wednesday? Wednesday was that karaoke?
Well, first we went and picked up. We went over to the Harpo and picked up our badges.
Wednesday we did the fleet.
Yeah, that
Wednesday
was
was
the
right.
LAN party. Yeah,
That was the LAN party. So we did LAN party. My wife did the Golden Circle. What did you do, Night Flyer? Did you?
Me and Coder went out for lunch, and so because he's like, hey, I want to try puffin. He's like, I heard it's really good, and I'm like, yeah, it probably tastes like duck. I want to try that harsh crow, whatever it is, the pickled shark or fermented shark. So we found a place, the Icelandic bar, imagine that, which is right across from where the pub crawl ends. And so we went there and had a really nice lunch. I had some fish. I had that pickled shark, which wasn't so bad. I've heard people like trying to compare it to like Malort and stuff, and I'm like, oh no. I thought it was fine. I mean, I would eat it again. So,
Malort.
That was that. And then, well, they also give you like a little alcohol that's got like one of their local drinks or national drinks. It's I think it's like a caraway seed or something based alcohol, but I really enjoyed that too. I thought the fermented shark and that together was actually an interesting snack on top of the meal that we had. And then puffin, yeah, it's exactly what I said. It's a duck. It's just a dark meat chicken is what it tastes like. So, and it was good. We enjoyed it.
I like duck.
Yeah, it was duck. So yeah, we met up after the LAN party, and then I went. Yeah, you guys did that. I went out to the charity thing, and I hung out with Helmar because we're like buds now. So we did that, which was nice to kind of go to the headquarters again, and all those people are like super nice. It's just, I mean, they're like ecstatic to have us there too, and I think that's really cool. It kind of helps the whole experience.
Yeah, they do seem that way.
I think that they kind of enjoy the fact that we enjoy their products so much. It's got to feel kind of cool. I don't have that kind of, with my life. Nobody wants my shit, so. Yes, but that's another story. But yeah, so
I think one of the things that's huge
we cleared
with
from that, and then we met back up at karaoke.
Yeah, so another thing I think is really huge for this is to remember that CCP they're not Blizzard. They're not they're not a gaming company that has been successful for anything other than EVE. Like EVE is their pride and joy. It's the thing that they've tried so many other things. And I'm really hopeful for Legion, and I'm now even more hopeful now for see what they do with this Frontier stuff. And I'm interested to see what kind of comes of all this, but when you go there, they are like, oh, you love EVE. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. Like, this is, when Blizzard throws any kind of event, they're like, every one of their fans are like, you peasants, you're one of the millions that doesn't matter, but we're, like, for us to go to FanFest, we're one of the few thousand out of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that have probably, put money into this game in some way, shape, or form. Possibly even millions on that, but, it's one of those things that I think EVE Online, when CCP sees that you're enthusiastic about their game, they are super excited about what you're doing. And, like, I know a bunch of people at CCP, and like you said, like, people like Burger just sitting down with you and be like, hey, I know who you are. Like, a dev knows you. How many content creators there are for World of Warcraft? And none of it matters. Like, none of it's
the fuck is World of Warcraft anyway? No one plays that game.
Even if you play it, like, what does it matter? Like, there's like the guilds that are like, oh, like, we'll be the first one to like defeat this monster when it comes out or whatever. Like, but and like there's like hard runs on stuff like that. There's hardcore, hardcore was kind of interesting to a certain degree, but there's no player story there. It's all just, like one-time snapshots of Leroy Jenkins shit happening.
Leroy Jenkins.
Now, don't get me wrong. That story of Leroy Jenkins. So okay, so what did
It was
we
also.
do?
It was also. I learned that it was set up. It wasn't like it was staged. Leroy Jenkins was staged.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
for
it was
sure.
all.
Oh yeah.
All this time, I thought it was just like a like a natural thing that happened, but it wasn't. Maybe sad.
Eve is
Yeah, that does kind of
much
take a
less
lot
likely
out
to
of the whole
have
story.
yeah. So Thursday we went to the flyover Iceland, I think. Isn't that what we did on Thursday?
I'm looking through my
I
notes.
think so. What I can tell you is that yes. So Thursday, that's when I had the pictures of the Labor Day
Parade. Yeah.
parade, because you guys went to the flyover and Tank and I was like, I'm gonna chill, maybe get something to eat, and then Tank and I went back to his place to grab a quick drink, but on the way we got kind of stopped by the the Labor Day parade, which was pretty epic, by the way.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. Again, not everything it was great in Iceland. So apparently this weekend was the same weekend that the schools and universities were like letting out. So the
Because of
streets were
Labor Day
full
weekend.
of and then it was Labor Day weekend. So a lot of the place like shops and stuff were like kind of closed. Like, hey, I want to grab some. Oh, and that's another thing. So first, lots of people everywhere. Shops are closed. Finally, make it
That's
to the
a lot
pharmacy.
of things. That's another thing.
Yeah, oh my
That's
god! So,
another
hey,
thing.
That's another thing.
you know what else grinds my gears?
You know what grinds my gears?
So you go to the pharmacy and like, hey, I want to get some, NyQuil or Dayquil. And they're like, yeah, we don't do that. I'm like, what do you mean? What don't you do? They're like, oh, we don't have like a one pill fix alls. Like, oh, what are your symptoms? We'll treat like each symptom. I'm like, I don't know, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, and I want to go to sleep medicine. Can you do that for me? So she's like, throws like 7 things down on the counter. I'm like, I'm not buying all that. Are you crazy? Like, who's got time for that?
I like how you just quoted a commercial to
Nobody
her,
got time
and
for that.
instead of the one item that you were looking for, because you were quoting the commercial, she's like, "We don't have commercials for this shit here. Here's 7 different. You just named 7 different illnesses. Here's 7 different problems."
Yeah, right. So here, yeah. So that's just here. This is for your cough medicine. Here's nasal spray for this, and I'm like, oh, just.
Dude, they gave me one thing that was for my congestion in my nose and my chest, and it was fucking strong.
Oh, that one I do have to say that. Okay, might be. I'll put that in the positive column. She's like, here, you can take this inhaler, and that'll help with your congestion. But don't take it more than 7 days, because it's highly addictive. I said it's highly addictive. Give that to me now.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want the highly addictive.
I give me that, but and it did. It worked pretty good. It helped clear me up for a while. So. But this is a shitty time of year for me out with allergies and stuff. We've got so much pollen and dirt, and we've been getting the mud rain. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. This is like kind of new to me.
The fuck is the mud rain?
Mud rain. So because of the dry
rain.
season they've had out west with all the fires and the winds. So they've had the drought.
By out west, you mean where I'm at with all the fucking fires that tore through California?
Yep, between you and me. So. Yeah, all those the flyover areas. So they had a lot of dry stuff, and they've had a lot of winds. So now those winds are picking up all the dirt and debris and dust, and it's getting put in the rain. And so we just had like a couple days of rain, and now everything's covered in mud. So, which is good because, we got more rain.
Mud rain.
Yeah, so so I washed my car, and now it's dirtier than it's ever been. It's gross. So. We got that going on for us.
So I do have to say that
rain.
the flyover Iceland was a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. I had very low expectations going into it. I had been to like different things where it was like a stellar photography or whatever, where you like sat down as like a movie theater. And it took you through Mars and stuff like that. But, like, you just sat down and you watched a movie that would take you through Mars or something. I thought that that's kind of like what this is going to be. But this is much more of, like, it's very similar to, like, a roller coaster. You know, it's like a simulated roller coaster. It's like a very big building that you do your simulated run through of different things. It is very simulated. It is very much like a 3D movie kind of thing, where if the screen was just all around you, type kind of thing. So it was really interesting.
It was, and they make it a 4D because they actually pump in air and water and scents and stuff.
Oh yeah, and you're in your vertical,
you're like, oh, we're flying over
and you're
like a flower field, and then you get like a smell of like flowers and stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, like you definitely are holding on, like when you're like it's taking you through different things. So it's pretty cool. The little troll story about like how trolls own the land first.
I don't know about the whole troll like thing. I don't know how those two things like synergize together. I thought it was an interesting story. It was kind of obviously a part of Iceland. I didn't know before that they have this like troll like fetish in there, and that's
Troll fetish.
I don't know. No,
Wow!
I don't know. Did you watch the same thing I did? That seemed a little fetishy to me. So
I don't know. I didn't see anybody having sex, but you know.
Well, it was implied.
It was implied.
It was implied.
So Bernard says the cool kids call that the 4D experience.
We don't hang out with cool kids.
No.
4D experience in a
we hang
movie
around
theater,
nerds that play
like
video
the
games.
4DX or the MX4D, enhances the film watching experience by adding physical effects that synchronize with the on-screen action. The effects can include motion seats. That's what we had with big giant motion. Wind, yep. Mist, rain, scent, yep. And strobe lights. We didn't really get strobe lights, I don't think, but created more intense and engaging atmosphere.
Well, Blue Gray, you can just hop in and listen for a while, and pants are optional. Always have been, always will be.
Pants are optional.
Yeah, there was talk about that on the Madison subreddit, or the Madison Meetup Discord, whether people needed to bring pants. And, there's
right.
We're pretty loose on our the bar's dress code is pretty.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the Crucible. The Crucible you could really just come with no pants, you'd be fine. As long as he's got like underwear, jock strap or something, you'd be fine.
But we did after the flyover. It was our first a scooter experience of this trip. So it was sober. It was mostly sober scooter experience.
Yeah, it was very, very, very good though. Very, very useful. Got us back very quickly comparatively to the long walk to get there. And at this point though, hadn't we already had dinner with the Pope a few times? I don't know. I feel like we got to have breakfast with the Pope, like right away.
Max got around. He wasn't his normal secluded self this time,
Yeah, he was all over the place. Like, well, I mean, I think Tank, like, really honed in on knowing where the Pope was, because like we had breakfast with the Pope. I think we had lunch with the Pope at one point. Then we had the final dinner with the Pope, where we were eating at that crazy steakhouse. And then
it's not cult. Yeah.
Which we didn't hang out too much with the Pope during that, but he was there during our. We were all hanging out together. We said, we did talk to him for a little while though. And we went to the Sky Lagoon with the Pope. Like, so we just got
at the end, yeah.
And you got a video of the Pope being attacked, getting ganked in high sec.
Yeah, it happened right in front of me. I didn't do anything to help him.
Nope, you guys just were like, "Yep,
I was like, run away!
He's dead. He's
warp
dead.
Warp off!
But yeah, so that was so Thursday. So Friday is. So Thursday I recovered because I immediately went to bed after that. And then Friday was the
opening ceremonies and what have you.
Yep, and then there was the the karaoke, which I didn't do, I don't think. Or I did a little bit. I was there at the karaoke, but I ended up not doing karaoke. I did sign up to do a song, but I missed out on, like, it actually went very quickly to get to my song.
The karaoke wasn't as good this time around. I feel like the area where we
it
did
was
it, the
rough.
stages were really tiny, and it wasn't as interesting as the place we did last time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It split us up, so there was 2 floors, one upstairs, one downstairs. The place was probably half the size, and it was just rough. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the venue wasn't great for how many people we were going to have in there. But again, it was just a come if you want to come. There wasn't like you bought tickets or anything.
Yeah, that was just a bar that you could go to.
But you forgot Friday was your big interview too.
Was Friday my interview? Yeah, Friday was my interview. Yep. So yeah, I was
Yes.
just looking at Gamer.
I remember distinctly because I was worried you weren't gonna make it because you were fucking lost.
Yeah,
Yep.
Samson scouted ahead, and of
Freaking out.
Frozen's-
I was like,
Dude, we scouted.
Frozen was
I
on
scouted
Frozen
like
time.
3 different areas that I thought that place was that interview was going to be happening at, and at the very last moment, I was just like, I got into the elevator and I looked over and I go, "Hey, the name there's names of different floors," so I just went to the floor with that name, and like got off, and there was like press release area, and I was like, "Oh," and then Samson's like, "Are you fucking checking your phone?" I was like, "No." Like, I just,
God damn it.
just trying to get around. And so, but yeah, I hung out with that dude for a while. I just posted the thing. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff, but he, just basically took had a few questions that he's going to ask about, and covers, like, how'd you get into Eve? What do you think are, a bunch of little standards kind of questions and stuff. That was a lot of fun. I probably talked a whole, probably 15 minutes beforehand with him, 15 to 20 minutes during the interview, and then 15 to 20 minutes afterwards that I did the good old Wisconsin goodbye to him 5 times. And I was like, "Oh, yep, gotta go now." And then, yeah, we was, we were all right now, yeah, we should probably go now, yeah. Just
Well, Samson and I had a great time because they had an open bar.
Yeah,
and,
there was an
free
open-
muffins.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we were just chilling up
we
there.
just walked up and they're like, they didn't know we weren't there for interviews. So, so we hung out with CCP Gnosis, who is one of the guys who's working on Frontier. He's like a PR guy, but he really kind of broke down a lot of what Frontier was for us. So I found that helpful. Again, super nice guy, and he's his Gnosis. So what are you gonna do?
Right. Yeah. No, it was great.
I'm not
yeah.
sure if he knew what the Gnosis was in game though.
No, because he was different element of Eve, but also one of the best names. So sad. But yeah, so I think Friday was ended after the things.
Oh, and we did the pub crawl then.
Pub-
So pub crawl was Friday night.
Oh, was pub crawl? Oh, so Thursday was the.
Friday was pub crawl, yeah.
Okay, yep. So Thursday must have been the going out to the karaoke and stuff. Anyway, so Friday was really awesome. We had a lot of fun. I had a bunch of fun hanging out with CCP Swift and just hanging out and talking to him a whole shitload during the pub crawl. I feel like I got way too much of his time, actually. I was
Yeah, Swift was actually outside of the press room when I was panicking. I was just sitting outside there, and he comes walking out like, "Oh fuck, a familiar face. Hey, hey, how's it going? Is this where Frozen is supposed to do his interview with Game Around?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's right up there." I was like, "Okay, cool. At least I'm in the right place. I don't know where he is, and he's not responding to my text messages, but I'm in the right place. So if he gets lost, he can fucking figure it out."
I don't remember what we were doing. We were doing something on the main floor. Something happened on the main floor. I don't know.
I don't know. At one point, you were on like the 3rd or 4th floor, and I was just trying to.
Yeah,
I
trying to figure out
texted.
how do we get to
I
the
said,
top
"Look
floor,
up."
man?
I texted. I said, "Look up." I was literally staring down at him. If he had looked up, I would have been like, "I'm right fucking here, dude."
Yeah, but I don't know how to get from here to there. That was
Yes,
the
but I could
problem.
have told you if you actually saw me. It was kind of confusing, though. I will say that Harpa is kind of a confusing venue when you get down to it.
Yeah, pub crawl was really great. I went out and got an Icelandic hot dog, which aren't bad, you know.
Interesting. They have like
Yeah,
crispy onions and some brown sauce and mustard or
yeah, they do have
something,
that brown sauce, which
and
is
regular onions.
not the brown sauce isn't quite as good as what they use at Miller Park in Milwaukee.
It's like their version
Brewers,
of
but
ketchup.
it's not so bad. It wasn't so bad. Yeah, because I went out with Quinn and Bojam. I had a real nice talk with Bojam on the way out there.
At the karaoke place, I remember seeing Kuruk at the door, and I walk up and I was like, "Kuruk, hey!" And then Quinn comes in, and I was like, "Quinn, hey!" And he was like, "Oh, hi, Gwen." And in his defense, I believe he had just arrived and had a rough time of it as well. So
Right, yeah.
he was kind of like, "Oh, hi, Gwen."
Yeah, but the open ceremonies Friday were pretty cool. I mean, you can see those.
Yeah, that was
videos. They're
cool.
all over the place. We sat through the NASA guy's presentation, which is actually pretty cool. I went to like every presentation I could last time. This time I went to like 2 because I couldn't stand it. Like I was so tired. I don't know if it was all the drinking or the walking.
The drinking was a big factor.
But it was try to like come back in and then sit in a room for like an hour. It was just so hard.
Oh yeah, man.
I did like 2 and I'm like, I'm not even gonna do it again. So
yeah, that hour
felt
was
bad.
just to go to the opening and the closing and a few other things that I went to. I went to the Black
I
Hole.
barely made it to the closing. I was so dead.
Yeah, I missed Rain's presentation, and it's I'm off tomorrow, so I've got like a free day. So I'm gonna go back and watch her video on.
And I fucking got.
So
We were walking into the closing ceremony, and I was half dead. And Tank's like, "What's that on your back, bro?" I'm like, "What? Oh, come on, no!" And I got snuffed. I don't know if I can lift my computer up. No, I cannot.
That
there's
was kind of funny. That stuff was going around just putting like pick me stickers on everybody.
Yeah, I have it right here. It says "got snuffed." Yeah, that works. That looks pretty good, actually. It's just a "got stuffed" sticker. They were sticking them on people's backs. I was the only one in our fleet that got it. And so I suspected it was at Lemmy the night when we ran into Burger, or when Burger ran into us, because I went to the bathroom. I had to take a piss. And I had previously just gone to the bathrooms downstairs because there were 2 downstairs, and I would just go to the bathroom downstairs. They were like 1-butt bathrooms. I didn't see any signs because like the entire fucking Lemmy, especially that area, was just stickers all over the goddamn wall. Like you couldn't tell anything. But there was one lady standing there waiting in line. So I stopped to wait in line, and she goes, "The men's is upstairs, love." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's signs everywhere." And I was like, "Oh, what fucking stairs? There's no stairs." And then I go, "Oh my God, what the fuck is this?" And these stairs go straight up.
Yeah.
Like just fucking straight up. And stairs are my mortal enemy because I have terrible knees. But I was like, okay, well, I really have fucking pee. So I fucking slowly start climbing up these fucking stairs. And one of the snuffed guys was in the stairwell, and he kind of like backed out of my way and kind of sort of like acknowledged like said hi or something. But I don't remember. I felt like at that point maybe he stuck one on my back because, like, you know, maybe it was like it looked like I needed help. So in my head, I'm like, someone's helping me up the stairs. Fucking A. So after we got out of the closing ceremony, I was like, it was you, wasn't it? But it also might have been that chick later we ran into. Either way, I got a cool pin out of it in the end because my vest is fucking sick.
Yeah. So Saturday then we had
Saturday.
let's see. So that was that the day? So that was the day that I got the Rifter USB. So I got this Rifter USB.
Yes. And that was the final, the party on top of the world.
Party on top of the world.
That is sexy. That is sexy.
Like that is
a sexy. In
That is
Rust
so
we
cool.
trust.
I spun the wheel and
was
got
so
such
happy.
a bad. Got the guy running it felt bad for me and gave me a bag.
I got.
Oh yeah.
No, why is this stuck here?
I got one like $1 billion skin, which was cool. They didn't
I got
give
another
away the friendship
Eon.
skins this time. I was sad.
What the
for
fuck
that.
just?
I
fell
got
out of
another
it?
Eon as well.
Oh,
I was...
and this one, I got this one. It came with the disc as well.
Oh, that's
and then,
cool as fuck. Discs,
and then
man,
I got
nobody knows what a disc is anymore.
I got the and I got 2,500 plex, which is enough to plex all three of my accounts for another month, plus an extra 1,000 plex, which is like what, $5 or something. So
Yeah,
I was happy with that. I was happy with that. For $20, you can't beat that.
Yeah,
Because that's like if you have no discounts, that's like $60 for 3 accounts. Almost.
yeah. I mean, besides the party at the top of the world, I'm trying to remember if there was anything else that I did that day. I think
I was fucking dead. So like, I remember I went.
Well, we hung out with November.
I left early
and did like.
I left early and ended up at a
luncheon.
place that had really good vegan noodles and it had this really cute. Can't really see it. Cat. Oh fuck. Anyways. Yeah, I was pretty much dead after that.
Yeah, the party at the top of the world was pretty cool. Not as cool, actually, as the last time, to be honest, because they had, like, the 2 bars last time. There was the big area for the party, and where they had the stage and stuff like that. This time, where they had the stage, I feel like there just was a lot less room.
I'm wondering if my photos are off by, like...
a day.
Timing.
Yeah.
Because when did we go to the steakhouse?
Steakhouse would have been on Sunday.
Oh, it was Sunday.
Yeah, it was Sunday that we went to the steakhouse.
Oh, that was after Sky Lagoon.
Yes, after Sky Lagoon.
Okay, no, it's correct. It's correct.
So yeah, Sunday then we went to Sky Lagoon, then we went to the steakhouse where Tank spent like $500 on wine.
It was good wine. I liked it.
Good wine. Good, and I had whale for the very first time, and now all I want to do is eat whale. I just want to.
I ordered whale because I eat fish as like a pescatarian, and so in my mind, at least, whale is more of a fish than anything. But
it definitely
unfortunately
doesn't taste like a
for
fish
me,
at all.
it tasted like the best steak I've ever eaten in my entire life. But unfortunately, I have a problem with eating steak and beef, and so it did not set well with me. And after a few bites, I immediately was not feeling good. So I decided, I felt like I was gonna share it anyway because it was kind of a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
A delicacy. So, but I ended up sharing the rest of it to everybody because I couldn't eat it physically, and I regretted. It was still worth it, and there were so many other things going on that I don't know. I have no idea if it was that caused my digestive issue, but I had terrible digestive issues later just because everything was bad for me at that point. I was just trying to hang on by a thread. I did, I think, but I was glad that I ordered it because I got frozen to eat whale, and that's huge.
Yeah, that was awesome. that was great. So Sunday was the ritual. I have to say the Sky Lagoon ritual is really cool, where you dive into some cold water, you go do an insanely hot sauna. Then that
probably saved my life.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Thank you for that. I was like, the the Sky Lagoon, which is the outer lagoon part, which is basically like the Blue Lagoon, is awesome. You know, you have your walk up bars in the thing, but like the cold plunge followed by the dry sauna, it was like, oh, this is what hell must feel like.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. The second time,
I managed to sit there.
More.
Well, you sat lower down where it was a little bit cooler.
Yeah, because I was smart.
I was
not that. I got smarter.
At least one tier higher because I hadn't been there before, and I somehow still lasted like 17 minutes. I don't know how I lasted 17 minutes in that, but the cold mist after that felt amazing, and then the salt scrub, and then the steam sauna, and then I think was it the shot of the
shot? Yeah, you wash off, and then you get a shot of magical juice. Yeah, that was really cool. I have to say we went twice to the Sky Lagoon. It was so good. We went twice. And I'll probably go twice again.
That was definitely worth the money. It was expensive. Yeah. Drinks were expensive, but again, it's a $200 day. But I mean, it was worth it.
Yeah, for sure. It was an experience.
And I wasn't even drinking booze. I was just drinking that day because I was hopped up on meds and shit, and so I was drinking like juice and lemonade.
I was drinking basil gimlets. That was kind of like their special for the day. And those were mighty tasty. But between 3 of those and doing the ritual, I got so relaxed that anytime I tried to stand up out of the hot tub pool thing, I would get like a head rush and black out. So
that's dangerous.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this because
a little bit
normal. Right. But not to mention, the night before, we'll glass over this one real quick. So we did the pub crawl. We went out. We got to Lebowski's. It was packed. I was there for a little bit. You guys ended up showing up, and then it was like 2 in the morning, and people are just showing up at Lebowski's, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm kind of toast. I'm gonna call it. And so I stopped in the convenience store right next there. I picked up some yogurt for breakfast in the morning.
Terry loves yogurt.
Yeah, and then I went home. And I got to the apartment. Long story short, when I was in the convenience store, they had like a chicken wrap, and it looked really tasty. And so I wasn't even hungry, and I ate that. And I should have just gone to sleep instead of eating that because I ate that, and I got so sick.
Yeah, I was there. I remember.
So I think
Frozen.
Yeah, Janet Frozen
a dump.
Janet Froze come in at like what, 3, like almost 3 in the morning, and I wake up and my stomach is on fire. I'm like, oh, I'm fucked.
And the bathroom was unavailable.
So Jan's in there. Frozen kicks her out, so he's in.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, it was both of them.
And so it's the 4 of us sharing one bathroom, and so Jan's standing over by the kitchen sink, and I sat up at this point, and I'm like,
you were like,
yeah. Yeah, it's like, there's probably a really good chance I'm gonna puke, and I look at the bathroom and it.
Fuck stuff.
I
was pooping.
Yeah, he was pooping.
He's dropping a deuce. So I go into the kitchen and I'm like, all right, sink or garbage can. I'm like, Jan, you might want to move out of the way, baby. And I hit the sink. I turn.
I'm like laying on the bed, half dead.
Oh, and it just
I just started hearing
came out. Oh, it was bad. And I am not a quiet puker. My wife laughs because she's like, "You are so loud," and I'm like,
"You're so dramatic about it."
It was coming out, man. I was just hoping I was gonna puke and not shit myself because it was violent. Whatever was in my stomach did not want to be in there.
That's the fear. Yeah. I remember the next morning, I put extra water in the electric kettle until it boiled, and then I was just like pouring it around the edges of the sink. I was I'm just doing a little bit of extra cleaning. And Jan's I appreciate it.
I don't blame. I scrubbed the hell out of that sink.
I know.
Too.
I was just being
gross.
safe.
Like, it's not like we've got a second sink. This is it.
No,
like,
I didn't
this is where
smell
our drinking water comes from. This is where our dishes are going.
I just vaguely remembered what happened in my like half drugged out like half dead stupor, slightly passed out in bed. So I was like, I want to use the sink, but I didn't, I didn't witness how cleaned it was.
No, I got in there because I was mortified. Like, I'm like,
No,
oh
it
my
looked
God.
fine. I was just like,
So-
I'll be safe.
But yeah, it was a thing. But after that, I felt great. I went back to sleep, and I think I slept for like 4 hours. So,
Nice.
because yeah, we were supposed to meet the guys for brunch the next day, and we ended up doing that a little late.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the first time I think I got sick in. It's been quite a few years since I've been sick. Probably COVID.
Same.
I would say the last time I got sick.
I have not been. Excuse me. I have not been as sick as I got after the pub crawl since before COVID. Like even during COVID, I got like the sniffles once, and it was nothing. And so like yeah, it was. I don't know. I mean, it was probably all the my travel issues that weakened my immune system, but what you gonna do? I survived, and then I recovered at Frozen's place when we got back to Wisconsin.
Yeah, so we returned on Monday. Everything went pretty smooth for our flight back.
Finally, I had a flight that was fucking nice.
Yeah,
Jesus
there was
Christ.
really no problem.
I had an
there.
empty seat next to me on the flight back.
Yeah,
That was
you-
nice.
Yeah,
That
and
was-
I was shared. I was with Frozen and Jan, so I didn't care if either one of us were like, invading each other's
Yeah,
space.
that
Like
worked
that's
out
one of
really
the things that bugs me with strangers. I don't want to invade their space. I'm slightly annoyed if they invade mine, but like I just don't want to invade their space. But I knew Frozen didn't care. Frozen was like, "Oh yeah, keep me warm."
Yeah, no, it was great. I cuddled.
He had a blanket. He
Um,
was like super comfortable.
So
Yeah, I can't fall asleep on planes, and I fell asleep with my head in my hands. Like I was leaning forward with my head in my hand, and next thing I know, the lady's like talking gibberish or something and woke me up. I'm like, really? Did you have to tell me to, whatever? Was that important?
Right. But yeah, so Madison meetup went really well. I think in the picture we had 17 people in the picture, and I know there's people missing from the picture. I know that I think we had around like 25 people or so that showed up for the Madison meetup. Was really well. We had quite a few people at the Great Dane. We had people that showed up at the Great Dane that didn't show up anywhere else. So yeah, I know we had well over like 25 people that all together that showed up. Including the after party at my place, the Great Dane, going to the Weary Traveler. IO was great. And then we didn't go to Lazy Jane's because apparently Lazy Jane's was like out the door. There was like
It was Mother's Day. So like during FanFest we had Icelandic Labor Day, and during Madison Meetup we had American Mother's Day.
Yep. But we did play we did play with Alec. The
Killer Queen.
Well, Killer Queen, that was a big one. We did play a bunch of Killer Queen at IO, but then we did do Earth 2020 or 2210.
Oh, that was the last day. Risk 2020 something.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to the Noble Night? Did you make it over there?
Yeah, we were at the Noble Night.
Over there.
It was a really cool place. It's huge, dude. A fucking massive warehouse.
Yeah, I've been trying to get there a couple.
They had a really large game area. We used a Warhammer table to play on, but it worked out.
Yeah, we played the Risk 2210 or something like that. That's basically the futuristic Risk with
and it was like
and the moon and stuff like that. It was me and
rivals
Alec punching each other in the face,
and then me and Julian punching each other in the face.
And then Shinji just watching us all punch each other in the face while he took over all of Europe,
and then he
most
won
of Africa and like most of Asia. Then. And yeah, he just kicked the shit out of all
He even took over the moon and still lost.
Oh yeah, man! Like
Shinji fucking took everything.
I was getting close to coming up on Shinji. Like if I had gotten all of the moon, there were little weird plays that I could have done to try and do that. But yeah, basically like me and Alec punching each other in the face over Australia in the beginning was just like a obvious, like, we're not going to win this game. So my objective
Yeah,
was
Alec
just take...
Alec did lose. He kind of lost the war or battle with you, but you were spread so thin after that. All you could do was try to grab the moon.
Well, that was the thing, is grabbing the moon was perfect because it was perfect for my thin forces, because nobody owned the moon at that time, and nobody could get to the moon, and it didn't look like anybody was concerning themselves with the moon now that I had moved in on the moon.
No, I was concerning myself with fucking Julian invading my shit.
Yeah, Julian kept on punching you in the face, like down in you were North America, he was South America, and you two were fighting over Mexico, basically. Like,
yeah, the main fights were in Mexico. Yeah, he took my space station, but then I took it back with some nukes and shit.
Nukes. Yeah.
Nukes.
So that was a really great day. We went to Perkins instead. You know, not the most glamorous of breakfast spots, but really hit the spot. They had some really good pancakes and good food.
Yeah,
there.
Perkins is good. It's the Denny's of the Midwest. I mean, I know you guys also have Denny's, I guess.
Yeah.
But we do not have Perkins out here. We only have Denny's out here.
Perkins is a little bit more upscale, it feels like, than Denny's.
So I would say that's
price.
probably true out there. But since we don't have Perkins for that comparison, Denny's is actually pretty nice out here. It's just,
well, the one thing about Perkins is they have the bakery that's like really open and out front. Like, that's the thing that they're always trying to get you to buy from their bakery. And they have a good bakery, you know, to be honest.
Something that would probably be similar, we don't have as many of them out here, but Marie Callender's is probably more closer to that, I guess, maybe. Because they have a huge bakery. And they have really good pies.
Yeah, we did get, I would have to say, you know, like, all in all, like, the Madison meetup was really successful. I would say this is, you know, way beyond what we did last year. This year was, I think, a lot more people, a lot more
got to meet
organized.
Cad for the first time.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
And that's going to be your last Madison meetup for a long time.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I feel like Facebook suggested me be friends with him, but before I met him in person, I had no idea who he was, and now it's not suggesting it anymore. So I want to be friends with you on Facebook, Cad. So send Samson an invite, or maybe Frozen can direct me with your permission to your Facebook page or something.
Yeah. I'll double check with him.
Yeah, he's cool. He was cool.
Yeah, so we are running up on time here, so I know that we've been pretty well over. Is there anything though before we wrap things up? Is there anything really big that I'm missing that I can't remember? I mean, there's a bunch of, you know, you have to come and talk to us personally to get all of the juicy bits about what happened. But is there any big things that I'm missing that we did that was?
Yeah, I mean, man, it was a really good time at both places.
Oh, I did an interview real quick about for a guy who's doing a documentary on
that was
streaming.
Towards the end of FanFest.
Yeah, that was like on Saturday or Sunday or something. I think it was Saturday.
Where was he from? Like France or something? Or EU?
Dutch, maybe?
Canada?
I don't know. Anyways, it's, you know, he was European. And he was
We
really
were in
cool.
Europe.
Yeah. He was super cool. He was like, "Oh, you do streaming? Can I, you know, have an interview with you?" And apparently, he was talking to other people after this, because we were hanging out with November, and some people recognized November, and then they were like, "Hey, and that's you know, you're the Frozen Fallout guy that did that interview. He's been talking about you. He says you're super cool. You know, one of his favorite interviewees, you know, of the day." And I was like, "That's super cool." But yeah, it was basically the same kind of interview that I did with Gamer Rant, and one of the things that both of them were like, you know, "Oh, you do, like, I could tell that you do this, like, you love to talk to people, like, you love to be interviewed and do an interview with people. You can just rant. I can rant with the best of them, just, and hopefully try and bring it back to the topic that I was talking about." So, but yeah, other than that though, oh, I did buy I don't have them all, or I have them spread out throughout here, but I did buy the 200% every one of the collectible 200%.
Yeah. I remember I was half dead once again, and you came in. I don't remember what day it was, and you were like, I think. Oh no, I was fucking dude.
You were
My guts
pooping.
were falling out of my ass.
Yeah.
And I heard, honey, I think I made a mistake.
Yep. I just had all these boxes. But when you break them down, they actually don't take that much space. So we were able to get them in. And so these are super cool. I have the game as well. I'm waiting on the
Well, you
actual game.
you have the Kickstarter.
Yep. So I'm super excited to play a bunch of that as soon as I get it. And then what else? Let's see. I think that's about it for me. Anything else from you guys?
I, despite getting sick and then sick again after after recovering in Madison and getting
Besides dying
a sinus
whole
infection, I did have a great time, and we did have a lot of really cool stuff. Shout out to the people that I got to meet again, like Cad. It's good to see Alec again. It's good to hang out with all these new people that we met. See such a big crowd at IO. IO is one of my fucking favorite places now. I've been there 3 times. Yeah, I've been there 3 times. They have a really good pinball selection. I was kind of sad that they rotated some of them out, because I think I wanted to play one of the ones that was originally there when I first got there several years before. But yeah, Burger, come interview us on the show.
Yeah,
CCP Burger.
that's gonna be awesome.
We beat the Dungeons and Dragons game.
Oh yes,
So
that's why you guys were late to the fucking photo.
Yeah, me, Julian, and who's the goon now? He's not a goon. Oh, I gotta take this.
But yeah, they beat the Dungeons and Dragons game. I don't remember the guy that was. Oh, I think it was that dude, the really tall guy, that was talking about training new bros in Null. I don't know. He had kind of not like long hair, but like maybe like kind of ish, like short long hair.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, so yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this on up though. And this has been I'm still recovering.
Yeah. Kismetir, that was his name.
Kismetir, yes, Kismetir. He's super awesome.
Sorry.
Yes. But yeah, okay, let's go ahead and wrap things on up. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for coming on, and have a great night.
Good night, New Eden.